You're listening to Me and Paranormal You with your host, Ryan Singer. It's more fun to believe. Third year bonus. Bonus. That's me doing sound effects. Hey everybody, my name's Ryan Singer. Thank you for listening to a third year bonus of Me and Paranormal You. Am I talking very fast? I'm talking quickly, or am I talking fast? It doesn't matter which one you use. I think we understand the message. If you're anything like me, you love the paranormal, you love all aspects of it, you love esoterica, you love hidden mysteries, hidden mystery schools specifically. I'm going to try to, that is one of my 2023 goals, try to get into like either the Freemasons or something. Try to get into one of these things. If you're anything like me, you also have all kinds of friends texting you almost on the hour, asking you what the hell is going on in the world with the unidentified objects being shot down. I don't know. I wish I did know. I was just listening to some NPR. Hope that didn't trigger you. I don't think it did if you're listening to this show. Anyway, the objects that are being shot down, the word balloon has been used on these other objects as well. I'm just going to say what I've told some friends of mine. I do not believe that UFOs, which have been here for over 70 years to our knowledge, are all of a sudden this week getting shot down. Does it have anything to do with us figuring out nuclear fusion? Or fission or fusion? Which I still haven't I still haven't dug deep into that one, which is crazy. Also, if you're anything like me, you're currently on the Master Cleanse diet. What am I doing? Why am I doing this? I have never done a cleanse. I've never done a diet, a crazy... I was vegetarian for years, for the most part. I didn't consider that a diet. I wasn't on a diet. That was just my diet. So I've never done a cleanse before, other than having to go get a colonoscopy. But that's just like a 2-day thing. Oh, man, that's the worst. Anyway, I'm doing the Master Cleanse. We have to chug a liter of salt water the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning. Can Lucifer's urine taste worse than this? Probably. Because, the prescription strength thing I had to do previously for the doctor, that was worse than the salt water. But a liter is a lot of water. That's just so much water. And it's so much salt. So I'm on day one. I'm staring at my concoction here. My lemonade, maple syrup, cayenne pepper concoction. I've lost 5 pounds today. I wish that was a joke. I'm down like 5 fucking pounds on day one, just from water weight probably, because boy, oh boy, make sure you got the good soft toilet paper for this. What are we talking about here? If you're anything like me, you're on the Master Cleanse. UFOs are being shot down. You're wondering what the hell's going on. Oh, I didn't silence my phone. Where is it? Oh, it's all the way over on the bed. I'm not gonna do that. I'm kind of settled down right now. And I don't mean just currently in this moment. I mean in general. My living situation is finally settled. I was on the float for quite a while, as many of you probably know. The Mindcast has been erratic. Trying to lock it into 2 episodes a week again for you. Sorry, didn't have anything last week. Crazy week for me last week. So, in good things. I got so many cool things planned. We can talk about that maybe towards the end. I do want to talk about the serious mystery. I'm not going to say his Proculus. Am I saying his name right? And if you're anything like me, you read a book, you put little tabs, those little Post-it tabs, on parts of the book you want to go back and look at. Most of the time you do, because then sometimes you read them for your podcast like I do. Other times you read a book and you know it's a good book because next thing you know you're buying 5 more books. I don't need to be purchasing books. I've got duffel bags of books in my room. No bookcases. Just like I've got one bookcase and then just duffel bags of books. Who does this? That is a pro tip though. If you're moving anytime soon, the heavy stuff, get the duffel. Don't use boxes. Who uses cardboard boxes? Who's doing that? Who's still doing that? Duffel bags, because they got the handles. They also have the shoulder strap. You could double up on the shoulders and be carrying 2 in your. I mean, that's if you're going beast mode. So I've just got duffel bags full of books. Most of them, I'd say half of them I've read. But then I'm buying these other books. Like I'm holding in my hand right now 3 dialogues between Hylas and Philonos by George Berkeley. This is a philosophy book. You know me, I'm obsessed with idealism. I'm just, I can't stop thinking about idealism all the time. And just how it relates to the general world, specifically the paranormal as well, but just life in general. There's a lot more to life than just the paranormal. I mean, the paranormal can overtake our lives at times. Seemingly, yes, but so I've got this book, three dialogue. I've got these other books. I got the Wim Hof book I still got to read. I got this other book about the third eye that my dad gave me. That he was like, man, I read this book. You got to read this. I got to read that book. I got to learn how to take cold showers by Wim Hof. I'm on the master cleanse. I mean, is this a transformation? Is this a metamorphosis I'm going through? Who knows what the hell is going on? I'm staring at 3 books that I'm using as a monitor stand on my desk currently. One of them is The End of History and the Last Man by Fukuyama. I got another Fukuyama book, Francis Fukuyama. The Origins of Political Order. Am I going to read those books? I mean, I got to read about Sirius, the Dog Star, and the Dogon. Do I have time to read about the origins of political order in the world? It's a fascinating topic, indeed. Who knows? Not sure we got the time. But here's what we're going to do today. I'm going to give you my best guess on these UFOs. And then we're going to kind of talk about, I had this idea years ago when I was trying to pitch a daily show for the paranormal with a buddy of mine, Tom Simmons. It's like you do a segment on you go to the weather balloon factory. What's going on in these balloon factories? I mean, this is where we need to be going. We need to be going to a balloon factory because apparently there's all kinds of crazy shit going on with balloons. Balloons are the fall guy. They do get blamed for everything. Whether it was Roswell, currently, it's balloons. Everywhere balloons. We've been using balloons since the 1700s to act as surveillance instruments. We are, what year is it? 2000? For a second I thought it was 2223. It is 2023. I thought it was 2223. Wow. I have not figured out alchemy, so there's no way. Well, I shouldn't say there's no way. I'm just saying at this time I don't anticipate probably being around in 2020, 2223. I don't know how you'd say that, 2223. I think that's how you'd say it. You just say it. It's that easy. You just say it. If aliens have been here this long and we have not been shooting them down, at least to our knowledge, I don't know what it is that would have occurred in the last week or so that would have made it possible for us to start shooting down. NORAD's an interesting thing. NORAD is a joint United States-Canadian endeavor. Most people, I think, including myself, for the longest time, thought NORAD was just an us thing. It was our thing. But it is not. It's a joint task force, so to speak, between the Canadian government and the United States government. So while a U.S. fighter jet, an F-22, I believe, shot down an object in Canadian airspace, it was, by the order of, Trudeau. So, but it's not like we're just going rogue hunting UFOs over here in the red, white, and blue. That's a joint. That's a team. It's a team effort. NORAD. You probably know that now. This stuff's been all over the news. Stephen Greer's also trying to keep you aware of, being mindful of the hoax element of the UFOs, and wants you to watch Cosmic Hoax, his free movie on YouTube. I have watched it. Pretty sure I watched it the day it came out. Pretty interesting. We're getting into some dicey territory here because you have so many different people, and by so many, I who you're referring to. There are different narratives that are going to play out depending on who you speak with about the future regarding specifically aliens and interaction with human beings. Dr. Stephen Greer and his team seem to believe that there is a concerted effort by shadow government to create an alien invasion hoax, therefore requiring the unification of humanity under the intergalactic military-industrial complex. I mean, that's, taking the military-industrial complex to the next level, putting it on steroids. Putting it on steroids and DMT at the same time. That would be interesting. Hold on a second. Let me think about that. Okay, so that was a quick break. Sorry, I had to put in some commercials while I thought about DMT steroid concoction. What a cocktail. Yeah, and also, if I do have to pause, I can edit it out. I don't have to let you know. Saltwater cleanse. I mean, it really just, really, makes you feel light. Let's just say that. I was referencing earlier The Serious Mystery, written by Robert K.G. Temple. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but because that is the book that was inspiring me to start just wanting to buy all these other books before I'm even finished with it. I mean, it's just crazy, right? But it definitely ties into The Bridge, the project I'm working on, the paranormal documentary series. Ties into what's going on now. Okay, so let's put our believer hat on and play the what if game. And what if these are UFOs being shot down? That would indicate to me that there is a change in the conversation between human beings and whatever aliens, equipment, ships, etc. are being shot down. There's a change in the tenor in which we are interacting with one another. I don't believe it's going to be first contact. I do have a problem with that, though. I do have a problem with the aliens just not talking to everybody, picking and choosing the quote-unquote leaders, which theoretically are chosen by the other human beings. Now, I'm not an anti-government guy. The word government has a bad rap. There's been a propaganda campaign defiling the good name of government for quite some time, for hundreds of years. The bottom line is there are too many people on the planet to not have governments. Now, could we all break off into little tribes? Certainly we could. You wouldn't have an iPhone anymore, probably. Who knows? Maybe you still could, but when a group becomes too large, there's no way to delegate. There's no way for, every single person to have a vote on every single thing. Does that make sense? This really becomes clear, and there's great explanation and clarification in Guns, Germs, and Steel, the incredible book, which is it's a huge book to read. But it makes it very, very clear, at least for me, after reading that book, there was, beyond the shadow of a doubt, I was like, well, I don't ever have to worry about this anymore, because this has become crystalline. It's very clear now why this is necessary. There's too many people. There are too many things that need to be decided. That is why we elect leaders through the democratic process here in the United States. Other places, there are monarchies, etc., dictatorships. I mean, I think we see in the last few years just how fragile any system of government actually can be. It teeters this way, it teeters that way. It loses, the people lose confidence in it, the people regain confidence in it. And the United States is quite young by the scope of history, by the measuring stick of history anyway. So there's a conversation change potentially between human beings and the extraterrestrials that own, fly, or I doubt inhabit these ships that are being shot down, these objects. What is that about? What is that about? Why would there be a change in the conversation? This is the what if game. Maybe it's because Biden hasn't done really any of the green initiatives he said he would do when he got elected. Maybe the planet is dying. I don't know. I was talking about narratives. Depending on who you talk to, they have different narratives. They will tell you certain people are privy to information. Certain people have different ways of getting the information about the future and about the players involved. Like Stephen Greer has a large group of people. He's talking about the cosmic hoax, the false flag, the fake alien invasion. You have other people, if you've listened to the interviews with Greg Feynman about Mutilation Ranch. Actually, I got to talk to Greg. Shoot, I meant to text him today. I think we're going to jump on. I think we're going to have Greg jump on the show again here real soon, here in the next week or two. And we're going to chat about things. Greg is receiving information as well about a narrative that's unfolding. There are other people telling us what the narrative is. So what do we do? That's a very good question. I don't exactly know what we do. You have to make a choice. You get to choose what you believe. That doesn't mean it's right or it's wrong. It doesn't mean it's true or false. It just means you've chosen to believe this thing. And it could be completely unreal, completely wrong, right? But you've chosen to believe it. So that's what matters. And then, I don't know. I was going to say stick to your guns, but that seems like bad advice. If you chose to believe the wrong thing that's not real, now you're just going to stick to your guns on that? And I mean, that is the human nature of things. None of us want to admit that we backed the wrong horse or we were wrong about anything. So oftentimes throughout history, we will go to our graves defending a false narrative. What can you control? I was having this great conversation with Elaine Hathaway on her podcast that'll be coming out soon. And it's like, what can you control? What's right in front of you? You want to change the world, you change the way you interact with the world. And therefore, you're changing the world because part of the world is changing. I mean, this is one of the oldest yet wisest ideas, I believe, philosophically, that have been out there. If you really want to change the world, you make that change. You be the change that you want to see. So what does that mean in regards to the paranormal and UFOs and things like that, as far as believing, trying to understand what's real when information is being withheld potentially, or we just don't have access? We get to choose to have an open mind. We get to choose to be open-minded about what the future might hold. We choose to believe that the aliens and the UFOs are not going to be here to destroy us, subjugate us, etc. We choose to be open to the idea that they are benevolent. That's the big thing. Are you even open to it? Because if we're not, talk about first impressions. Getting off on the wrong foot. So these are the things within our control, even though most of us probably believe that we've already been having close interpersonal contact with aliens, at least a few different types, if not many, but most assuredly one, for quite a while. I think this is just some like archaic spy game shit that's happening with all these downed objects that are being shot down. And it sounds like juicy and exciting because of the way they're labeling them. And again, this is moving away from the UFO alien specific connotation of the phrase unidentified flying object, as they've leaned into UAP. That's something to be, I guess, aware of. Now they're, UFO always meant a big umbrella of things. Over time, it came to mean alien spaceships. Now they want UAP to be alien spaceships and UFOs literally to be everything that is in the sky that we don't know exactly what it is instantly. So there you go. I think it's some archaic spy game shit. I don't think it's anything to get our feathers rustled about. We're not shooting down alien technology. This is my guess, right? To the point where I haven't even had a moment over here. I'm like, oh my God, it's begun. I had like half a second where I was like, oh, okay, get my go bag. I got my go bags in the car already. I'm ready to fucking go. Where am I going? Up to a place I know that's got fresh water, right? That's not in Los Angeles, California. But I haven't had a moment where I'm like, oh my God, I better bring my extra go bag and my silver bars. I don't own silver bars, but this would be the time to own them probably if you think that the world is getting ready to collapse. To have some bartering things, probably bottles of wine would work better than silver bars. But yeah, I haven't got to the point where I'm like, holy shit, man, it's happening. I haven't got there yet with all the news. I don't think I will get there. It's just, I don't know. It's strange because it's a unique kind of news story that happened boom, 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 boom. Happened multiple times. When they're shutting down airspace, that gets people's attention. That's like one of the big things, right? It's like they shut down airspace. Oh, well then that gets everybody's attention, especially after 9/11. That gets everyone's attention when that phrase is thrown around. So if you ever want to get someone's attention, that's all you have to do. Hey, did you hear they shut down the airspace over over us right now. Be like, what? They did what? Yeah, so I just want to get another Diet Coke before I go. Maybe in a to-go cup. I wouldn't recommend doing that. As someone who waited tables for 15 years, I'd be like, wait, did you just tell me the airspace was shut down, you fucking ass? And now you're going to ask me for a to-go cup? Think about the environment. Bring your own to-go cup. Or come back to the service station, open your mouth, and I'll spray some DC in there for you from the gun. Soda gun. I'm not hurting anybody, just trying to give them their Diet Coke. I can't have anything. I'm off caffeine. I'm off everything. The only thing you're allowed to do is this fucking concoction for 10 days. Minimum of 10 days. And then, like, day 11, I'm allowed to have, like, orange juice all day. And then, like, day 12, I'm allowed to have, like, maybe some... For the day 12 and 13, I think I'm allowed to, like, cook myself a vegetable stew or raw vegetable stew or something with just water. And then maybe allowed to have, like, fruit and vegetables after that. And I'm, like, traveling at some... I'm not traveling, but, I mean, there's things I'm doing. Like, I told my buddy, I'm like, I'm going to see you Wednesday night at the show. And he's like, well, you're on the master cleanse. I don't know if you should go because you might have to shit at any moment. Let me read you something really interesting, because it relates to, you know, the stars, aliens, extraterrestrials, etc. And for at least 70 years, we've been in contact. It's been many of us, you know, who are into ufology believe it's been much longer. A great example of that is how the Dogon tribe understood the Sirius star mystery. And many people, Robert Temple's one of them, you know, have written extensively about this. Well, he specifically, about the question, was Earth visited by intelligent beings from a planet in the system of the star Sirius? Now, if you've been watching The Bridge, my series, we did CE5, a version of CE5 inside of a school, at Poasttown Elementary School, and I believe we've established a line of communication. And when I went back and had very specific questions, I thought it was Procyon. It was not. It was Sirius. And when I mentioned the star Sirius, the devices started going bonkers with Matthew Jackson. I was back at Poasttown not all that long ago with my buddy Eric Connor, and the footage is on his YouTube, and I'm also going to be, you know, using some of it for the doc probably. That there's a moment there where the devices, when I start bringing that up again, the devices had been quiet. I bring that up again, Sirius specifically, they start going batshit bonkers again. And it's exhilarating. It's exciting. So the question is like, where does the conversation go? How do you continue the conversation? And I've got things I'm working on, trying to figure out ways to do that and to be able to communicate in a more open and a free way that is, you know, with a little more immediate understanding on my part from what is being communicated. I don't think that the investigation has to stay there. And that points to some things that I'll probably announce later on, some trips I'm making specifically for the bridge, or related to the bridge, in some really, some pretty cool spots that I feel drawn to continue that conversation. But who is it that we might be, you know, speaking with? You just have to keep watching the series to find out who I think it might be. But the Dogon, this is from Temple's book, they didn't have a problem conceiving of intelligent life all over the universe. Basically, this is what Temple's writing about. They say, quote, "The worlds of spiraling stars were populated universes. For as he created things, Amma gave the world its shape and its movement and created living creatures. There are creatures living on other Earths as well as our own. This proliferation of life is illustrated by an explanation of the myth in which it is said, man is on the fourth earth, but on the third there are men with horns. Inu Gamarugu. On the fifth, men with tails. Inua Dulagu. On the sixth, men with wings. Inu Brumo. I apologize for my pronunciations if those are really, really bad. This emphasizes the ignorance of what life is on the other worlds, but also the certainty that it exists. The Dogon knew that the earth turns on its own axis. See, that's another thing about going backwards in time and understanding how forward they were, as far as having understandings that should not have been, I don't know, quote unquote, possible to people without the scientific instrumentation, right, that we have nowadays, or that we had later on. How is it possible to understand these things, and these very specific things, having detailed maps, understanding that the earth was on an axis and tilted, and that the sun is what the earth and the planets rotated around, not vice versa, that the earth was not the center of the universe, which was a deadly thought to have for a while there. Not for the Dogon, obviously. Will we have answers? I think we will. And I think we get answers, and I think we process those answers at different times. It's one thing to get the answer, it's another thing to be able to integrate that answer and understand it and process it. So I'm not sure when that's going to happen, and I don't know where we are exactly in the process of all that yet, but I do know that these UFOs that are happening now, my best guess is that they are not of extraterrestrial origin at all. There's some spy game stuff, humans, and who knows, potentially could even be these balloons. I'm going to do my damnedest to try to get into a balloon factory and figure out what's going on, find the secrets that are happening inside these balloon warehouses, hidden somewhere in the desert in Nevada. Probably there's a balloon warehouse. Never look at a Party City van, the same way. If you ever see a van driving down the road that's like talking about balloons, keep your eye on that van. There's probably CIA operatives in there. It's probably not people trying to make balloon animals at all. It's people running covert UFO technology operations, Earthbound style. Wouldn't that be funny? Anyway, I think we're going to do it. I'm losing my voice. All I've had is cayenne pepper all day. So I'm going to call it. And I get a big day tomorrow. So I still have to go to the grocery store, buy a diaper. I hope you're doing well. It is February. Wow. Football season's over. Baseball is finally starting. The long, cold winter, the long freeze. We're starting to thaw out from the long, cold freeze, which is the most difficult time of year for me, is during the winter. And then when baseball comes back, we know that spring and summer are close by. And I think that's part of the reason why I love baseball so much. It also makes investigating the paranormal locations a little more enjoyable when you're not freezing your tootsie off, doing it at 3 a.m. in some abandoned house that doesn't have heat or electricity. So I'm looking forward to that as well. I've got some exciting things coming up. We've got some exciting shows coming up this summer. I've got some ideas that I think we're going to be bringing to life this year, carnival style. So, I mean, it's going to be fun. And I don't really have any stand-up comedy gigs happening in any time in the very, very near future on the road. So don't worry about that. I'll alert you. RyanSarenComedy.com will have all the updates. Please watch The Supernatural if you haven't yet, and please, give it a thumbs up and share it with friends. We've got a bunch of views on it already, but we need to, get more and more and more so I can, maybe feel like there's a reason for me to go back out on the road and start telling jokes again this year, which I will be doing. So don't worry about that. Anyway, I love you. I hope you love yourself. And, take a breath. I'll let you know here how the Master Cleanse goes. Don't go jumping out there and jumping on it necessarily right away. If you've never done it and you're like, well, singers doing it, I better do it. I mean, I might not do it after 5 days. I'm going to do the whole thing. I'm a completionist. Anyway, I'm going to do my damnedest. The caffeine is hard. It's hard. Oof. I've been off the smokes, though, for about almost 8 months. So I'm not worried about that. I just need to get off, like, soda and sugar and caffeine. I mean, it's just, oof. You know, I've been hitting that mountain. I've been hitting that mountain all the time. It's been great. Starting to feel a little more reconnected to Mother Mountain. So, Crystallize, download it. We're updating it. It'll have 300 crystals it identifies probably in about a month from now. So that thing's chugging along. Didn't forget about it. It's still there. We're still working on it. Okay. Hope to see you soon. And if not, maybe see me at a show in Los Angeles. And if not, I'll see you at the watering hole on the astral plane.